talk about a policy, or how a policy designed to shield thousands of immigrants from deportation has been declared illegal again. Deferred Action for Children Arrivals, also known as DACA, leaves thousands of students, families, doctors, and many more in limbo. Here to talk about what's next for Dreamers is FIEL's Executive Director, Cesar Espinosa. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So it's good to have you back here in studio because there's still lots of questions that people have. And for those who might not have ever dealt with immigration laws before, let's start off with, can you explain what Dreamers have to do in order to keep their DACA status?
So right now, if you were eligible for the DACA program in 2012, met many criteria, went through fingerprints, you can still keep your DACA under this new ruling. So basically what this means is that people who already have deferred action can continue to reapply or renew their DACA. Unfortunately, people who are petitioning for the first time or asking for DACA for the first time, many young people who were too young to ask for it before, unfortunately are out of the program. Wow,
I bet you're getting flooded with calls about that.
We have many calls. Immigration is a tough subject. There's a lot of rules. It's very complicated, and immigration laws change all the time. Rulings come out, so there's obviously a lot of confusion in our community. A lot of folks just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and so in the past couple of weeks, there's been a surge of migrants at the border. So we have also gotten the question about, will that surge of migrants also delay or affect the Dreamer status at all, or their renewal process?
Absolutely not. These are two separate issues. Dreamers are already folks, or DACA recipients are already folks who are in a different pipeline. They're actually in a different part of immigration called USCIS, not CBP or Border Patrol. So they're way.
You're saying there's a whole different process for them.
A whole different process. It's not even a court process. It's a procedural process, more paperwork than what's happening at the border.
Yeah, still immigration, though, it gets confusing for people. I think even DACA recipients themselves are making sure, like, okay, this doesn't affect my renewal, right?
There's still a lot of questions that people have. And questions come up every single day.
And so people who aren't afraid or aren't familiar with immigration laws, a lot of times we hear that question, well, why don't Dreamers just become citizens? Can you explain what the process and legal hurdles are like for Dreamers who are trying to face that path to citizenship?
Well, I'm glad this is a 6-hour segment so I can explain the difficulty. But in brief, I'll talk about my story. I came in here at the age of 5. I'm a college grad. I grew up here in Houston, and I've been here for 33 years. Unfortunately, there hasn't been a pathway yet for me to become a citizen. I want to be a citizen of this country. I love this country. I love Houston. I love our culture. I love our people. I love being here, my family. I have a son here, a wife, all of that stuff. Unfortunately, immigration law, because of the way it's written and because it's so outdated, I haven't been able to process my paperwork yet, and I've been here for 33 years. So,
you're just saying that's how slow the process is?
That's how slow the process. I do have U.S. citizen family members. If they were to petition for me, it would take 20 plus years for them to even get to my application. So in theory, I could get status by the age of 60, 65. I'm 38 years old now. So, there's not a lot of time, and it is a very, very slow and complicated process.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that question before, though. People want to know, well, why don't they just do this? Yeah.
Absolutely. But like I said, I was brought here at the age of 5, and, I came in legally on a visa, et cetera, et cetera. There's been a lot of things that I thought I did right. Unfortunately, the system hasn't allowed me to become a U.S. citizen or illegal permanent resident yet.
Yeah. And so the future for DACA is a little bit unknown right now. There's a lot of fear about the unknown. What are some of the common questions that you're getting? What would you like to address?
The most common question that we get is what's going to happen, and nobody knows yet. We go to the Fifth Circuit, and then eventually we're going to make it back to the Supreme Court, and then we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, if this program gets taken away, you're taking away doctors, teachers, paramedics, firefighters, police officers from our street. I mean, these are people who are working every single day to make our city better, to make our city safe. And if that happens, and if the program does get through, or it is declared legal or constitutional, and at the end of the day, these folks are still going to be left in 2-year intervals, and there is no pathway to citizenship for us. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. We need Congress to act. We need everybody to come together and figure out this broken immigration system.
I know we've had you on here before, so I know this is a repeat question, but for anybody who's just now listening, about how many people in Houston does this impact?
This impacts about 34,000 people in the greater Houston area. And around the country, it's 580,000 people. 200,000 of us have U.S. citizen children. So this could have a major impact to our society, to our economy, you name it.
To your families, yeah. Does FIEL offer legal guidance for people?
We do on a variety of issues. Folks can contact us. They can contact us with questions. They can follow us on social media at FIEL Houston, all of that stuff to get their questions answered, because we know young people, especially nowadays, do not like to call, so they can always DM us or send us a message. Yes, absolutely.
All right, and if you head to clicktohouston.com and search DACA, you will find a breakdown of the effects and the new DACA ruling, other interviews that we've done with you. So thank you so much for taking your time to come in this morning and explain all of that.
Thank you for having me.